Hello, everybody. As always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I am Coach Paul, and this is the Hola Prime Market News Update. To start, the US dollar showed strength today amongst the major currency pairs after stronger than expected PPI readings, while many US equities shrugged off the data and continued their upside move. The Nasdaq closed down about 42 points on the day, almost recovering all of its down move from the pre-market session, while both the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 were able to log small gains before the closing bell. Euro USD fell by 0.45% today as the pair continues to trade in a sort of wedge pattern. We could see continued support at the 50-period EMA of 1.1629. CAD USD also traded down significantly, losing 0.4% on the day, showing a small head and shoulders pattern on the daily chart. Next area of shorter term support looks to be in the 0.7225 area, a level we sharply reversed off of in early August. GBP USD fell by 0.32% today, forming what looks to be a double top at roughly the 1.36 level. The pair is currently trading at 1.353. The Swiss franc continued to trade in its choppy range this month, losing about 0.28% and currently trading at 1.242, essentially in the middle of August trading range. Lastly, the New Zealand dollar was hit hard today, losing just shy of 1% and currently trading at 0.5926 as of this writing. On the docket that we had this evening for New Zealand and Japanese data releases, we had a list of economic data that came out of both New Zealand and Japan. New Zealand manufacturing PMI was measured at 52.8 in July, up from the previous reading of 48.8. The New Zealand food price index measured at 0.7% in July versus the previous reading of 1.2%. And the New Zealand visitor arrivals month over month increased from 1530 previously to 1670 in July. Lastly, for New Zealand, external migration and visitors was down to 0.8% from the previous gauge of 6.1%. As for Japan, GDP quarter over quarter came in better than expected at 0.3%, and Japanese foreign investment in Japanese stocks also increased by almost 500 billion yen, up about 300 billion yen from the previous reading. USD JPY is currently trading at 147.64 as of this writing. On the cryptocurrency front, cryptocurrencies had a large red day today. Bitcoin fell 3.2%, currently trading at $118,600 per coin. To quickly touch on some others, Ethereum is down 3.5%, currently sits at $4,563. Litecoin is down 6.28% at $121.83. XRP is down 5.8% at $3.09. And Solana is down 3.93% at $192.99. On the commodity front, gold futures fell by $25 per troy ounce in today's session, retesting Tuesday's lows of $3,380 and settling just above the level at $3,382. Silver futures followed suit, losing a little over 50 cents per troy ounce and closing at $38.03 today. WTI crude oil futures had a nice rebound after retesting the $62 per barrel level on August 13th, gaining over $1 per barrel in today's session, closing at $63.91 per barrel. Next major level of resistance is about $65 per barrel, and minor resistance between the $64 and $64.50 level. And key events that we have ahead for tomorrow in the US, we have some important data releases coming out. Including retail sales and core retail sales month over month, Empire State Manufacturing Index data, and preliminary University of Michigan consumer sentiment and inflation expectations. Now, without further ado, it's time for our Quiet Markets live trading session with both myself and Coach Tiger. Let's get to the trading. Coach Tiger, how are you doing,
Coach
my friend?
PG. PG.
What,
PG rated.
dude? You know what? It's funny that you even say that because uh, growing up, that's like what everybody would say to. They'd be like, "Oh, we're going to a PG movie. Come on, PG, let's go. We're going." Every single time, it was just a constant joke when I was young. But
Nice.
P-
So,
and then you
so I
got PG
guessed that right.
13. So when I was 13
PG
years
13.
old, like PG 13, I was just called PG 13 for that entire year. Classic.
Oh my, that's great. That just
Classic.
came off top of my head, so that doesn't surprise me.
You son of a gun, bringing up childhood memories. No,
Yeah, all the
no, but
yeah. Well, imagine having the name of Tiger. Yeah, I've had all kinds of fun nicknames growing up. T
yeah,
Bizzle, T
man.
Berry, Tiger Billy. Uh, my
Oh my
sisters were
God.
infatuated. Yeah, my sisters were infatuated with the movie The Little Mermaid growing up. So somehow they started calling me Tinkerbell. I'm like, well, no, I don't like that. We're drawing the line on that one. Okay, call me anything but late for supper. Call me anything but Tinkerbell.
I was going to say, wait, that one doesn't make as much sense. That's just being
It makes
mean.
no
That's
sense.
just purely being
Yeah,
mean.
I know. That's right. The
Uh,
hazing,
that's
the
that's
hazing
funny,
of older
man.
sisters growing up at that time.
100%. Yeah, exactly. But you survived. You are here now.
That's right.
Oh
Now
man,
I'm way taller than all of them, so they have to mind me now.
you have the authority now.
I have the authority. That's right. Well, one
Well,
more
how
day
was
to
your
go. Yeah, how
yeah,
was your
how was your morning
Thursday?
session?
Oh, great. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of doing a couple things to kind of balance some stuff out. We kind of had the idea. Well, one of us will tackle the major currency pairs. One of us will tackle the minor currency pairs, and then the third will tackle the indices: Bitcoin, gold, silver. So we're just going to kind of rotate that because we all three have a little bit different of a style. So it'd be nice
Hmm.
to start, rotating that so that people that are more interested in the majors can focus on that, learn a couple, three different styles, and then, people that care more about indices, gold, Bitcoin, silver, that kind of thing. And then just kind of all the way around. So yeah, went pretty well. Kind of
Awesome.
kind of balances out a little better, getting the energy up and rolling. I can feel it because as soon as I'm done, I'm ready for bed. But it's good stuff.
Yeah. Do you know, like, have you asked the chat in those morning sessions, like, are most of them in like Europe or in like Asia or like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, most of them.
yeah, pretty
That's
much
awesome.
most of them. Yeah, yeah, we've got a lot of several in the African countries. Yeah, obviously the eurozone.
Very
Um,
cool.
I feel like we've had a few over in the Asian market, but yeah, it's no, it's been great. It's been a great experience. Just working on growing the audience now, right? Just like we all are
Yeah.
as,
Yeah,
as a
exactly.
relatively
No.
newer YouTube brand. So, but no, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. Um,
Awesome.
Trading wise, I did get into a silver trade. Finally did.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while since I don't even think, I don't know. I can't even remember the last time I took a trade in silver, but the fundamentals are just lining up great. Um, the a little bit of the sentiment help as well. And then I finally found a good technical spot. So we're in there now, a little bit of a drawdown, but it's the zone that I picked is at least holding it. Just need a little bit of a spike. So hopefully the London New York overlap in the morning will kind of help that out. I was doing a little deeper research on silver, and it said that obviously the New York session is a great place to start, but
Hmm.
London and New York helps with silver and gold as well. So we'll see how that works out. But
Yeah. Yeah.
regardless of how it performs, regardless of how it performs tomorrow. I mean, whether it stays sideways or if it pushes me up in a real big profit, I don't care how good it is. I'm cutting it before the end of the day tomorrow for sure. Because who do we have talking tomorrow in their summit?
Uh, I know, man. I know. Yes, that's That is a good strategy to stay away from the headline risk. I agree, man.
Yeah, for
Smart.
everybody in the chat, that's President Trump and President Putin are meeting over in Anchorage, Alaska, to cuss and discuss their challenges. So with Ukraine, Russia war, and probably other things. So I'd love to be a fly on that wall, seeing
Oh my
what they talk
gosh.
about. You know how
So many
Trump is. I
people.
mean,
I agree. Yeah.
yeah, I mean he likes having the cameras rolling. So I could very easily see them do that live, but I don't know. Who knows? I feel like they just need to hash it out behind closed doors. Part of me thinks that
Yeah.
because
Yeah. It feels like a touchy topic. It does feel like obviously a very touchy topic, and that would be rough to, I feel like, on camera. It could explode on, kind of like, remember the Zelensky thing where on camera
Zelensky,
it
yeah,
kind of, geez, I could
yeah,
imagine that, but like worse possibly. But I mean,
yeah.
but it would be good entertainment, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's for
But yeah,
sure. That's for sure.
you,
What's going on,
you said it
Liquidation Lab?
nice.
And we
Hey,
got
hey,
Catherine as well in the chat. So yeah, keep those chats coming. If you have any questions, markets, fundamental analysis, if you want to tell us a joke, a knock knock joke, tell us a lie. Tell us what you're trading, maybe where you're from. If
yeah.
you haven't before, this show is for you. This is the Quiet Market Session. Um, it's called Quiet Markets for a reason, right? Typically quieter as far as volatility on a lot of these instruments, but it's a great time to kind of talk about how your session went, your New York session, or whatever, wherever you're at. And it's a great time to go really in depth in some of the talking points on strategy and this and that. And then we find the occasional trade to hop on to. Yeah, like I said,
Yeah.
I'm in a silver trade. We'll get to that chart in a minute, but yeah,
Hmm.
let us know what you're in. You know what you're trading currently, if anything. If you're a longer
Looks
term
like
swing style trader like I am, or whatever
looks
intraday
looks like
scalper.
Liquidation Labs is in an NQ long at the moment. Tiger, he's
Oh,
and
there you
he's
go.
asking what we think.
Well, that's
Um,
your avenue there, buddy.
yeah. Yeah, and what I think. Sheesh. I am undecided because, well, generally speaking, I should say, um, I
Mm-hmm.
am bullish, generally speaking. But in terms
Right.
of what this overnight session is going to be, I am very uncertain. We are it's Chop Fest City. I mean, we can share my screen,
You know
but
what?
it is just all choppy, man. It's no
Yeah.
direction.
While we're waiting on your chart, I'll just say, just looking at my top setups page, Nasdaq, Dow, S&P, all three of them have been over. They've been in my bullish watch list for quite a while, for a few weeks now. They've been 5 or higher. Just so you know, though, today that all changed. So currently,
Ooh.
we got the Dow at just a neutral score of a 1, and S&P 500 is a neutral score of 0. Same thing with Nasdaq. So no wonder you're getting some chop fest going on. I mean, it's just from a
Okay.
fundamental perspective and sentiment perspective, you could go either way, long or short.
That's
But obviously,
that is interesting.
you know, when it comes to that type of undecidedness, yeah, it's probably all about the technicals at this point, right?
Yeah. And I would say Liquidation Labs. I don't know where you got long necessarily on the NASDAQ, but uh, I mean, I guess if I was going to be in a long, I got to pull up the order flow real quick on the NASDAQ here. Let me do that real quick.
Catherine says, I
But
trade Forex, but I'm trying to learn trading futures. Catherine, me too. That's why I love having these streams with Coach Paul. And last night
yeah,
we had Coach Tony, and we have Coach Daryl on this quiet market sessions from time to time as well. It's been
mm,
excellent for me to watch. This chat is for you guys and gals to learn, but hey, it's as much for us coaches to learn as well. It's a lonely world, isn't it? Trading's a lonely world, so it's been nice to tap into a like-minded group of guys and gals on here to kind of bounce ideas and learn the other person's trading style. So I'm right there with you, Catherine.
Yeah, yeah, and same with me. I'm learning about FX stuff with Coach Tiger. He's teaching me FX stuff, so it's pretty cool and a world that I'm not used to. But with the with the NQ chart up here, the reason why I was saying liquidation labs, I'm neutral in the overnight at the moment, is because it's just like when I say chop, I mean literally VWAP. If you were to just look at VWAP anchored at the opening of 6 p.m. Eastern time,
Mm-hmm.
that's roughly 3 hours ago. It's literally just a horizontal line essentially, and we've traded above it and below it. And what I'm looking at that as is, if I'm going to get long, I would prefer to get long in the 23,880 area, where we've now shown like that is a relative support bottom in these 3 hours. Or I'd like to get short at a top here that we've tested a few times in the last couple hours of 23,904 to 23,908. So, and we're right in the middle of that. So
Mm-hmm.
I could be getting long with you, Liquidation Labs, and be getting long somewhere in the 23,880 area at some point in the next, 5, 10, 20 minutes, who knows, whenever it gets there. But yeah, appreciate you letting us know of your position there. He got long at 889. All right, so not bad, not bad. You're at least slightly below that midpoint, right? Like slightly below the VWAP too. So you're not like dead in the middle necessarily, but yeah, I mean, I would probably keep my stop. If I'm going to get long, I'm probably going to have my stop somewhere around like 23,868, which is kind of right below the 4:15 p.m. Eastern time lows that
Mm-hmm.
we made. So I would just keep it below that. That's what I'm going to do if I'm going to get long in that 23,880 area. So good
Yep.
luck to us on that. That's for sure. And then what
There
else
you go.
did? Oh, Catherine's okay. You answered Catherine. She trades Forex, but is trying to learn
Yeah.
futures. So yeah, that's cool. Cool, awesome. But maybe let's look at gold real quick. Let's see what gold's doing. Gold had a rather lackluster day, like it did the last couple days. A
Mm-hmm.
little bit more volatile today, but not really too much. So, God, this is so boring looking. This is very boring. This is a terribly boring chart to
Yeah.
look at. But I guess
Agreed.
if I'm doing anything, I might be getting long in the 33.79 area or
Mm-hmm.
33.78 area with a stop below 30 or at like 33.75. But let's look on a higher time frame because, oh, okay. Well, would you look at that? So
Let's look at it.
33.79 seems it was a previous like bottom that we made. We came and then we rallied a little bit. We came back down, kind of tested that area, closed above that area, and now in the overnight we've done a little, well, overnight slash I should say outside of open cry hours. We've made this
Mm-hmm.
little hump here to try and then go back down, but we haven't actually flushed through that yet. So I need to keep zooming out. That's what I'm thinking. When in doubt, zoom
When
out,
in
like
doubt,
we've
zoom out.
said in the past. Yeah,
Yep.
Ex- exactly. So yeah, this is a tough one. This is a tough one to get long. The more I zoom out, um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this
Yep.
might be another
Yeah.
tough thing to trade tonight. Huh?
Agreed. I agree. I mean, yeah, I've got a demand zone, but it's a lot further down. Like for
Yeah,
me on the XAU USD anyway, I'm still looking at the 3,300 for gold. I mean, it's the same place I've been watching now for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, looks like at this point.
right.
Um, and that's why, because gold, I mean, I ended up zooming in because I couldn't quite, obviously, everything I liked the most was just too far away. So, yeah, I had to zoom in to find that gold trade yesterday. And today, with my silver trade, Same thing. I had to zoom in to find it, but yeah, I'll go over it in a minute. But
Yeah.
I feel pretty decently
Yeah.
confident about it because I have the fundamentals in my favor on gold and silver. So
Well, also silver is looking like more trendy. So like with gold, like
mm-hmm.
you were saying, like the gold is in a massive monthly range. I mean, we are trading in
Right.
this ridiculous compression range right now where the most comfortable you feel is getting, well, I would feel is getting more long in the 33.20 area. That's where we've tested a few times now, and that's casually like our bottom over the last 3 months.
Right.
But then
Mm-hmm.
you also feel the most comfortable getting short somewhere around 35.20, where we've tested one, two, almost three, four, so almost four times, basically three times. Those are the like what I call what I call them. I mean, this is just a term that I've made up for myself. I call them like cheap longs and cheap shorts because
Mm-hmm.
there's like a clearly defined range. If you get long at the bottom of that range or short at the top of that range, it's a really small risk to a much higher reward.
Right.
So if you're kind of just playing off that sentiment of your thesis of it's a range, and you just take the stab at it. You just stab at it, see if it plays out. If it breaks through that range, if you got short on the breakout to the upside, then you just lose a little bit. But if you are correct and it regresses back into its range, man, do you cash out? So
Yeah. True.
yeah. So, but
Even
silver, when
even
we look
just
at
even if it's just halfway, even if it just goes back to the median line. But yeah,
right,
no, I agree.
right, yeah,
That's pretty much the
and
mindset
that's
I had on that trade the other day. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and that's and honestly, like I wouldn't ever really be looking to get to the bottom of that range to get out. I'd be looking exactly like somewhere like you said, like more towards the middle of it, where I know that there's like a ton of liquidity probably resting. A bunch of people are just chopping themselves up, and
Mm-hmm.
you could see a little bit of a consolidation occurring. I just like to get out in higher volume areas like that, um, personally, instead of trying to extract every single dollar I possibly can out of the trade. I mean, as nice as that would be, I just like to get out where I know volume is sitting at. So um,
Mm-hmm.
let's see. So and then like I was saying with silver, I like your silver long personally. Um, like I said, because it's more trendy. We're not in a range like we are with gold. You just look at this
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like it's smiley face after smiley face after smiley face, and we're just making a bunch of
Yeah.
smiley faces. And if I was going to get long, I guess I'd be getting long somewhere around the 50 period EMA. I mean, if you were to really zoom in, you can see like, yeah, this is like a relative double top on like over the week, but like that doesn't mean a
Mm-hmm.
ton. Like in these shorter time frames with like daily double tops, it's like that's not really it's not a double top, like it's not, it doesn't
Right.
hold as much weight. So I could easily see this just coming back down and then smiley facing back to the highs of the last month and trying to break out. So wouldn't
Yeah.
be
That's the
surprising.
goal. That's
Um,
the goal. Yeah, because
yeah,
I ended up
and
getting in on the 4 hour,
what'd you get it?
kind of a 4 hour or 1 hour time frame.
Okay,
Is where I got in. Yeah, 4 hour. Yeah, I guess it was a 4 hour actually. But yeah, it's very similar on the smaller time frame. Very similar to the gold concept and idea that I did the other day. So, but yeah,
hmm
I started to see the same thing. It's just trending better. The fundamentals spiked really good today. Yesterday and today a little bit. So, yeah, I'm just more so trying to lean a little bit more on the fundamentals on this one. I mean, the technicals are fine. It's just that I had to go to a smaller time frame to do it. Um, yeah, I guess it's good. It's just a little. I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you look at it, if you zoom out, if you win in doubt, zoom out. It's kind of in the middle where I kind of got in. So
Gotcha.
kind of in that diddle in the middle, but on a much larger time frame. But again, I dropped everything to smaller time frames, and I don't have near as far away as profit target as I would, if I were in a higher time frame. So that's why I kind of get into it.
Uh huh. Yeah, yeah. And I like that. I mean, I think the 4 hour, like you're saying, like with some of these, with like gold especially and silver, I feel like you can get shook out of things super easily if you're so just focused on like a 5 minute or a 15-minute chart or something. Like it is way too easy to fall trap to
Mhm.
a fake bull, like a bull setup or like a fake bear setup or whatever. So I love
Right.
your like more longer term chart time frame. We did have a couple. Catherine was mentioning gold's the death of her on Forex, but she loves trading it. I mean, you and many
Yeah.
others, I must say, like gold is fun to trade, but it is a tough one. So just you got to log a lot of screen time, and you got to get to know its personality. It can be relatively volatile. So, but she also did ask about the crossing of the green EMA over the red. So I do have a yellow EMA, so I'm going to assume you're thinking the yellow EMA. So my EMAs on my charts are the yellow is the 9 day or the 9 period EMA, the red is the 21 period, and the blue is the 50 period. The crossing of the 9 over the 50, I don't really that doesn't matter as much to me as like maybe the 9 crossing over the 21, which it also did as well. But I don't generally look for crossovers actually as a sign to get short or to get long. That's just me. That's not me saying that that's not useful. That's just me. Like my brain doesn't look at it as a signal for my own strategy, like the way that I trade. There are plenty of people that have those kinds of strategies and they're making money. So by all means, if anybody has that as like a criteria, don't blame me at all. But more so what I look for is when all the EMAs are just trending together. So the 9, the 21, and the 50 all trending together. Then what I'm looking for is bounces off of those EMAs. And depending on which one I feel more comfortable with a bounce off of, I will either get long or short. If the EMAs are above the price action, I'll get short when it gets to that EMA, and vice versa. Um, so yeah,
Right on.
that's kind of the way that I just generally use the EMAs. But my headphones I actually have to reset real quickly because what happens
Oh,
is these headphones that I have, they'll turn off if I've been using them for too long to like protect my ears, I guess.
yeah. Ah,
So
so you don't go
then you
deaf.
just have to like hold the button and it'll like restart them and then let you continue. So now they're good, but kind of
Oh,
ridiculous.
okay.
But
Well, no worries. While you're doing that, looks like we
that's
have
good
an
now.
announcement, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, let me take a look here for everybody in the chat. So it does look like we do have a giveaway happening for another one of our 50K Forex accounts. So, as always, just make sure and subscribe to this channel that you're on now, which is obviously Hola Prime TV. Okay, it's the one that you watch our streams on. And then also pop on over to Hola Prime Global channel. Okay, two separate channels. And give that channel a look too. You get trader stories over on that channel. Some of the traders that have passed Forex challenge passed Forex futures challenges with us, and have went on to request their first payouts. We do get on
Mm,
from time to time and interview those people and just find out how they did it so that they can share their experiences with us, let us know how we're doing as a company as well. Okay. So the constructive criticism, the good feedback, but most importantly, seeing how they're doing it, right? They're
hmm
busy with their jobs, their kids, their life, schooling, things like that. These guys and gals are making it happen. So they've already started requesting their first payouts. So definitely check out the Hola Prime Global channel sometime when you have some time to yourself, right? And get an idea. The pretty good form of inspiration for you to see other people out there in the world doing it and making it happen, right? That's obviously what
mm,
everybody's goal is. Whether you're passing a challenge or whether you have your own account and you're just wanting to level up your trading game, right? So great opportunity over there on the Hola Prime Global channel. So yeah, make sure and definitely subscribe to those, and then drop us a comment in here. Tell us what your why is. Tell us why you're doing this. Tell us what you're looking at. And then, as always, just keep the questions coming. This is the fun part about these streams, Paul, is engaging with the chat. It's a good time. So that's the goal of it. We're not on here just for our sake. We're on here for your sake as well. So, and we love doing it. But yeah, definitely chat with us. Let us know how your day is going, your week, your month, whatever. And then most importantly, go to your YouTube bio if you haven't already, and make sure you got your updated email address on there, because we have to communicate with you that way to get you your login information, all the account info, the site, and all that, so that we can get you up and running with the 50K account in this example, or whatever, whichever account we give you on other shows. So, and if you think your email's in there, double check, make sure it's up to date. I know I've been pretty bad about having old email addresses in certain accounts from time to time, and wondering why I'm not getting an email for this or that. So definitely make sure it's up to date, and that way we can reach out to you ASAP the minute we pick your name, and let you know here in about, I don't know, probably about an hour or so. We'll be dropping the name. Okay, we'll be doing the drum roll and getting y'all set up. So 50K account. Keep tuned on that.
Love it. Dude, I will say liquidation. Yeah, the Bitcoin short was crazy. I mean, all cryptocurrencies just got annihilated today. Let's just put it at that. To start, everything just got annihilated. And I said it in the previous session, in the regular trading session. I said I bought XRP. I bought cryptocurrency, generally speaking, but I bought XRP. I bought cryptocurrency for the first time in my life 2 days ago. And the point being is I bought at the top for all of you guys to benefit, so that the markets could come crashing down and
there you go.
At better prices. So I did this for you guys, Chad.
Paul PG sacrificed himself just for you all.
Global headlines. Paul sacrifices himself for Hola Prime chat. But yeah, it's so funny though.
He sacrificed himself, so he's not PG anymore. He's TVMA, rated for horror.
just blood everywhere, just absolutely annihilated. But
blood and gore.
Yeah, so
that's great. That's great. Well, there you go. Scoop up some cheap price action. There you go. Catherine, again, that's what channel is that? So yeah, it's Hola Prime Global. So you should just be able to type in your search engine Hola Prime Global, and then obviously you're currently on the Hola Prime TV. So Hola Prime Global, I believe that's all you got to type in, right? Double check.
I think so.
I'll double check for you, real time. I just have it saved under my favorites. So Hola Prime Global, yeah. Let's see
awesome.
here. I'll have to figure it out. Yep, that's it. Hola Prime Global.
Dude, the Dow exploded to the upside in the overnight. Like it's running over 100 points. Okay, in the overnight, it's run now almost 200 points in the overnight. Like the NASDAQ and the ES are doing nothing really, but the Dow is just on a tear. So I guess I don't like trading the Dow in the overnight, but with its current, it's got a decent bit of liquidity right now. There must be some stock within the Dow 30 that is, or kind of sector within the Dow 30 that is really taking off at the moment.
Real quick, Catherine, I put that link in the chat for you for anybody needing the global channel. So there you go.
I do think
sorry about that, Paul.
Oh no, you're fine. I think Tiger, that it doesn't appear in the chat because of the link being like, you can't put links.
Yeah, you may have to copy paste it. Yeah, you might just have to copy paste it is all. Copy and paste.
Like I don't even see it. Like I don't even see it in the chat. Yeah.
Oh, maybe I can do this. Hola Prime _ global. Does that show up? I put the at
There it
sign.
is. There it
Okay,
is.
there you
I
go.
see.
I took away the hyperlink and just threw on the part after the site, past the / So at Hola Prime _ global. Hopefully that helps.
Perfect.
Coach D, Coach Daryl, Coach
Yo.
Daryl is on. I guess we're going to be taking we were joking about taking a road trip. Oh, you were on. I forgot you were on the channel as well.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Taking a trip to Houston, I think it was. Yeah, I don't know what I was
Yes.
thinking when I put 7 hours. I think I was thinking from Tulsa or something, because I remember mapping it out when I was in Tulsa, Oklahoma one time. But yeah, it's almost 12 hours. Yeah, it'd be at 13 for me. I stop and pee a lot, like I was mentioning on the chat this morning. I drink a lot of water, so I can't typically go over an hour and a half.
Oh man. I mean, 13 hours isn't the worst, but that's a little rough. That's pretty rough, honestly. 13 hours of driving, especially straight through. Uh,
Houston,
yeah, no
baby. That's
thanks.
right.
I think the most I've
Yeah.
ever driven in one, like in a direct amount, is like 18 hours. That's the most I've driven. But
Yeah. Where'd you? Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
I could tell you some driving stories. Where did you drive
Oh
18 hours?
gosh. So from like the Treasure Coast, Florida Treasure Coast, up to Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. So
Oh, okay.
that's the
Oh,
furthest.
okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah, I used to drive medical transport, so I got paid all day to go pick people up, people that had Medicaid, Medicare insurance, and that covered the cost of their transportation to and from their medical appointments. So, yeah, I used to drive all over Kansas, all over western Missouri, northern Oklahoma, a little bit of
Mhm.
southern Nebraska, a little bit of northwest Arkansas, even, and just pick people up and take them to their appointments. So I spent a lot of time driving from here in Kansas City down to like Wichita and Topeka and Manhattan, which is the Little Apple here in Kansas for everybody. We do have a Manhattan as well. It's called the Little Apple. And then taking people to like Joplin, Missouri, Bartlesville, Oklahoma. Like I used to go all over the place, and I was probably averaging 300, 350 miles a day. But I had one day where I had to go from Kansas City down to east of Wichita, pick somebody up, go through Wichita, go all the way out to northwest Kansas, a little town called Phillipsburg, and then all the way back to Wichita, drop that person off, and then come back home to Kansas City. It was an 882-mile day, and I did that all in one day. I
Jeez,
was
man.
tired. I was tired. Yeah, I think I even took the next day off. But it was an 882-mile day. It was like, I don't know how many hours, because I didn't really pay attention to hours back then. I just paid attention to miles. But yeah, I did
Right,
that all in one
right.
day. So needless to say, I had to get my car oil changed about every 3 weeks, new tires
Mhm.
about every 6 months. Like, yeah, there's a lot of wear and tear on the vehicle.
Jeez
But
Louise,
I'm
man.
over that now. I don't get paid to drive anymore, so that's why I say I'll fly. I'll fly from now on. It's a different
Oh
mindset when
man.
you get. Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Flying. Well, I'm spoiled though. The MCO airport here in Orlando, it just has direct flights
Mm-hmm.
everywhere, and like whatever, like every single time, and like it's just like there's a variety of options, I feel like, to everywhere all the time, and so I can get cheap direct flights to just about anywhere I want. So I am spoiled. I don't have to usually drive much. I usually the farthest I'll drive is like South Carolina or North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Really, it's about 9 hours.
Oh,
But even then, I
mm-hmm.
usually don't do that. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's still
Well,
quite a hike. I'm just looking at my U.S. map.
I am long the Dow, by the way. I got long three
Okay.
micros here, and we're in the money
Good deal.
already. Immediately in. I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll,
Yeah,
I'll
we'll let
take
her
it.
play out. If you
Hmm.
like, I can share my silver thoughts on my chart real
Yeah,
quick
sure,
till we
sure,
get
sure,
yours
sure.
to play out. Hopefully, be profited by the time we flip back.
Hmm.
So yeah, for silver. So yeah, we had obviously the the PPI report came out this morning, and it was great numbers for the dollar itself. And then we also had the GDP numbers come out, which was great for the British pound. So anyway, just looking at the dollar, it's obviously inflation data. So just like the CPI, what's great for the currency is the opposite. It's negative for, the stock market. It's negative for our pocketbooks. So it's always a double-edged sword when we get the release on a soft or a hot PPI, a soft or a hot CPI, right? What's good for one is typically negative for the other. So anyway, just isolating to the US dollar itself, after all that report came out, I'm actually going to do this. I think it'd be a better visual if I just share this. Let me copy this. I just want to put this on my chart real quick so we can take a look at the US data as a whole and see how the last week's data stacks up. So let's do that. Copy this, paste that, and it's working. All right, perfect. Let's zoom into this. All right, so looking at the US data, what have we had in the last 7 days? Well, everything in yellow, as far as the date, that's reports released within the last 7 days. So the only negative report we had for the dollar itself was the CPI. I was thinking that's what it was. So we had the August 12th CPI data, which of course is good for the stock market, right? But negative for the currency because we had a decrease in the inflation rate by just 0.1%. So, well, it remained the same. Let's put it that way. It was 2.7, just like the last one, but they were expecting it to go higher. It didn't. So again, bearish for the currency, bullish for the stock market. But other than that, we had the PPI data today, which was bullish for the currency. And it was a really big, really warm report. Like this report was so warm, it was a light in a small fire, right? 2.5% of a forecast, 3, and that's after a 2.4% previous number, which, by the way, was revised upward. I think that number came out at 2.3% the last period for this report, but today they did revising it up another 0.1%. So that was before the hot numbers. So yeah, really good bullish sign for the currency itself. Again, affecting our purchases down the line, right? When you're looking at the stocks, looking at everything else. So double-edged sword. Okay. And then we also, of course, had the jobless claims come out. So that was, let's see here. Oh, jobless. I'm sorry. I was looking at it in reverse. So yeah, 228 was the forecast, 4,000 less claims than expected. So that was good for the currency as well. And then we had a week ago, August 8th, that was the MBA mortgage report. So basically, and I don't know all the specifics, I should study up on this a little better, but the MBA mortgage report basically is kind of the increase or decrease in new mortgages. I mean, it's just exactly what it sounds like. People signing their name on the dotted line, getting ready to buy a house. So they that's a report that's released weekly, and it's not something that I think gets a lot of attention just because it gets overshadowed by the inflation data, the job reports, the non-farm stuff like that. But it's a pretty important thing in its own. It's just a little bit of an economic, or it's a little bit of a sentiment, because if people are buying more homes or writing up more mortgages, then that tends to be a good thing. People are spending money, right? Kind of like one of those durable goods types of reports, right? Things that are going to last you 3+ years. So I kind of lump it in like that. And it's the way my brain works anyway. But yeah, we had 3 out of 4 reports in the last 7 days were good for the currency itself. So you look at it overall, I think early last week we were sitting around 42% USD impact, meaning 42% of the reports had beaten expectations. Well, now we're up to 57%. So a little bit of an uptick in the dollar. That's kind of the way I see that. It's just a little bit stronger. Now, again, really when it gets to 60 or above, that's where it starts making me really want to go out and buy the US dollar. Or if it's under 40, go out and sell the dollar, right? And this that way with all the other major currencies. So yeah, I just thought I would kind of update this for everybody. And then obviously tomorrow when we get the retail sales number coming out, and then the University of Michigan consumer sentiment, that'll change some things as well. But anyway, retail sales tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So that'll be 15 minutes after I end my Forex Fire stream. Looks like they are projecting the month over month number retail sales to be the same at 0.6. And then they are projecting a 0.2% drop in the core month over month number. So excluding energy and food, right? So that if we're looking at that, and I just want to match up. So over here we got retail sales. The previous number was a bullish number. That was July 17th. Let's see, retail sales, core retail sales. Yeah. So they're projecting to be the same. So we had a bullish number the last time. Well, if the report comes out and it is as they say, right at the 0.6%, well, then what will happen on my list is this bullish will go to a neutral, just like this one down here. So when that comes out, if the number is correct, then obviously it would just drop the USD impact a little bit lower. So maybe down to like 54, 53, right? It just that's kind of how this works. So it's a very dynamic list. It changes obviously every single time a report comes out. But yeah, that's just kind of my mind. That's just kind of what I look at. I try to project ahead, day or two just by looking at what reports are coming out. Obviously the day of and then the day after. So yeah, it's just more of a neutral setting for the dollar. So essentially, if I get into a dollar-based trade, then I'm getting into it not because of the dollar necessarily, but I'm getting into it because the other currency is stronger or the other currency is weaker. Mm-hmm. And when I look at my economic surprise meter, I still have the New Zealand dollar as 75%. So that's the strongest reading currency I'm getting right now is the New Zealand dollar. British pound is right behind it at 71%. So those are the two currencies that are exceeding most of the expectations on all these major fundamental reports. And then the weakest currency, when we're just isolating the economic surprises, the weakest one is the Aussie dollar. It's only sitting at a 43%. So pretty much neutral as well. So there's really only the New Zealand dollar, the British pound at 75 and 71, and then the Japanese yen is sitting at 63, and the Canada dollar is 67. So those are really the four currencies that I'd be interested in buying, obviously based off the strength. So when all that shakes out, long story short, when I look at my top setups, the only bullish currency pair I have, which is a 5 or higher, is the British pound Aussie dollar, and that's a score of a 6. So on the bearish side, I do have 3 Japanese-based currency pairs that are bearish. Well, that's because the Japan market's showing a little strength. So that's why that's why it's saying the bearish numbers are the New Zealand Japanese yen, the Aussie dollar Japanese yen, and then the dollar Japanese yen is actually the most bearish at a -10. So,
yeah.
So yeah, and then
I do really quickly. I have an update really quickly. My trade My trade finished. Could we just share my screen real quick?
Yeah, pop over Paul. While you're waiting on your chart, looks like we do have a poll question. Today's star performer in Forex was blank. Dollar Japanese climb, Euro US dollar drop, New Zealand's big slide, or the pound dollar double top. So that is your choices. Let us know your thoughts. Sorry, Paul, go ahead.
Dude, look at this run. Look at this run that just happened on the Dow. I mean, it was like a 60-point run in 10 minutes, and most of the move happened in 2 minutes. Like something, I basically got out at the 45,300 level. My original target was 45,310, but it just was wicking up so quickly that whenever I see moves like that where things are gapping higher, I naturally am like, I need to be looking to get out of this a little bit sooner in case there's just like a gap down that occurs like off of that volume.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you know,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, whenever there's a gap up occurring and like you're just seeing people buy hand over fist, then I feel like the immediate reversal could occur within like 3 minutes of that volume having taken place. So, yeah, I got made like $80 on 3 micros on the Dow in like 10 minutes. That was a wild move. I mean, the Dow moving like this overnight is it's a new one for me to be. I've never traded the Dow overnight. This was my first Dow trade overnight.
Okay.
So, uh,
Yeah,
cool, cool
that makes
example.
sense. That's exactly what I've been noticing watching you and Daryl and Sam uh, with those big spikes. I've paid attention to that. How you get the big spike up and it immediately reverses. Let me see here.
Yeah, and I must say, like, I mean, the whole thought process behind that was simply, I mean, you can just tell, like, it's kind of just the old saying of like the trend is your friend, and with the Nasdaq
Mm-hmm.
and the ES being a little bit less trendy, they were just choppy, but I mean, the YM, the trend, look at the trend. I mean, that's the trend is the trend.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of up. And I figured, all
Mm-hmm.
right, in this consolidation move right here, let's get long, in this consolidation move for another move upwards. And like we technically haven't broken all-time highs in the Dow on the continuous futures. So we could try to get there, and getting there is what it's doing. It's like, I think the all-time high in the Dow is roughly like 45, 315ish or something, somewhere right around there, which is why my target was that point, because that's the all-time high. Um, so yeah, cool example to be able to show you guys, honestly. Um,
Yeah. Really
Thanks,
good.
Catherine. I appreciate it. And I know Catherine did ask me. I was just, in the trade, and you were discussing your setups and whatnot. But she asked again about with the EMAs, what time frame do I look at in terms of like seeing if they're all going the same direction or not. I use EMAs specifically on the 5 minute and 1 minute because I'm just using them for trend following purposes during intraday trading. But that's just me. There are people that will use EMAs for longer time periods. Like, Tiger looks at the 4 hour and the 1 hour charts and the daily charts and all this stuff. And there are people that will use EMAs with those kinds of charts to try and do like swing trades or, longer term trend trades. But that is not my trading style. So I just use it on the 5 minute and the 1 minute for intraday trend following. Or momentum trend, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what I use it. Liquidation
Yeah.
Labs asking for check GJ. Is that GC? You mean is no GJ?
G, yeah, pound Japanese yen, I think,
Uh
is what he's asking.
that
Yeah.
that'll be a Tiger check because I can't actually check it on this platform
Yeah.
for futures. I don't have that pair, so we'll have Tiger
Yeah.
check that out.
Yeah. No problem. And I didn't even know that till Tony mentioned that last night on Quiet Markets that you guys don't have that. I
Yeah, we just
don't
have
think.
those like few that I've showed you before, like yeah, we can only look at the futures, really.
Yeah,
So,
that's fine. I can definitely jump on that.
yeah,
Yeah, back in. Go ahead and flip on over. And in the meantime, welcome Curve Trades. That's a new name. I was recommended this channel, hopefully to learn a few things tonight and maybe also win. Will be amazing to try the firm. Yeah. Yeah. So just let us know what you trade, what you're looking at. And yeah, just stick with us. I mean, we got a lot of different channels here on Hola Prime TV. We got a Forex Fire show in the morning. on it bright and early. And then we do some more future stuff midday New York session, early morning, and then midday New York. So yeah, whether you're trading Forex or futures, a little bit of crypto as well. Right after my show ends at 7:15, we got uh, Coach James and another Paul. We got a couple Pauls in here. Coach Paul Pico. They do a lot of focus on the altcoin market and Bitcoin and all the cryptos as well. And they do quite a little bit of everything, but they do have a much more heavier emphasis on Bitcoin and things like that on their show. So Yeah, I pay attention to Bitcoin. That's the main one I'd pay attention to. That's about it. Bitcoin, gold, silver, the indices, the Nikkei in Japan, the DAX in Germany, not to mention all the currency pairs, the Forex pairs, the ones that move, I should say, the higher ATR ones, average true range. So, but yeah, we could definitely take a quick look at a couple of these things mentioned here. GJ, pound Japanese yen. So, pound Japanese yen, what are we looking at overall? Okay, let's, when in doubt, zoom out, right? So, if we look at it from this point here, April 10th, Liberation Day, right? It's just been kind of slowly going upwards here. Um, I think if I'm looking at the pound Japanese yen from a technical standpoint, I see this. It did bounce into this demand right here at one point, and it's just been bouncing up nicely. That was a daily demand zone, right? So, well, we have kind of exceeded these topping areas up here, making some new highs. So that would be a good one to isolate just by looking at it on the curve. Oh wait, actually, depends on. Oh yeah, another thing, guys and gals, whenever you're asking us to look at a market, let us know what time frame, because I typically default to the higher settings since I'm a 4 hour zone trader. But then I always stair step down to the smaller time frames. So, um, but yeah, just let me know. But I'll just look at it from a couple points of view. Um, well, let's just do this. Let's start with a 4 hour. Okay, 4 hour. Let's see here. We got a little bit of a low point here, a little bit of a high point there. Let's do this. I'm going to move my curve analysis to these points right here. And the basic idea on curve analysis, guys and gals, is buy low on the curve, sell high on the curve in the premium area if you're going short. So got that plotted down. Looking at the chart on an hourly time frame, obviously this has been an uptrend, but we've kind of made some new lows, a little bit of a double top there. So is this the beginning of some type of a sideways action? Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Liquidation Lab. Could definitely see a drop coming. I mean, it looks like it's kind of already started. So why did that start? Well, it started, in my opinion, because it kind of went into a little bit of a supply zone. See this candle right here? That's, by the way, let me turn off my order block indicator. You got this last green candle up before this big, gigantic spike down. So that's definitely a point of interest, right? People are going to see this big move and they're going to be like, I want to be a part of that if and when price returns. The big banks and institutions are doing the same. Okay, so what typically happens is you just throw this little rectangle in that candle there. So the proximal line and the distal line, just wrap the whole thing in, the wicks and all. And if and when price returns, we could see another bounce downward. And that's exactly what's playing out. So, yeah, Liquidation Lab, totally correct, in my opinion. Now, can this reverse and blitz right through? Of course it can. But again, we don't try to tell the future or future tell. We just look at probabilities, right? So the probabilities are, yeah, these unfilled orders are causing price to react, and that's why it's currently going down. So I could definitely see it going down to the bottom of this area at minimum for sure. And then, but when you look at trend, it's kind of sideways at the moment, right? So do we sell up here if price returns, or do we wait and buy down here in this area? You know, this is where we can just kind of go down to some smaller time frames and see if we have any other zones. Did you have something, Paul? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I thought you were. I just thought you were finishing up, and I was just going to mention something that Catherine was talking about. Like she missed, the notifications weren't working for her. What I do on YouTube is I just put the notifications bell. Like if you look, I mean, you look to the right of the channel name, like Hola Prime TV, and that little bell drop down button, instead of it could be on personalized or none, I just put it on all, and you should get the notifications, Catherine. If you definitely put it to all, you should get them going forward. But if not, definitely let us know if that's an issue. and we'll keep an eye on that. But that's, I think, what I would do instead of keeping it on like personalized, because the same thing happens to me when I have the bell on personalized instead of on just all notifications. So for a specific channel. So yeah. Sorry about that. Sorry about that
Yeah.
interruption.
No, you're good. You're good, man. No, it's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as GJ, just going back to that liquidation, if I were to look from the other side on this downward drop, could we see a bounce off of this little demand zone here? Potentially. Okay. You had from this last red candle down, and it's nice and wicky, right? It's pretty much a tall doji candle, right? With a real tiny body. Kind of reminds me of a lot of species of spiders, right? Tiny body, long legs. But yeah, you had price. You had a lot of volume in this area. Okay, we're looking at the volume spread analysis. Again, when it comes to Forex trading, there's not really any centralized volume, so you kind of have to get creative to figure out what kind of volume is happening at any point in time. I just like to use the VSA indicator. It works pretty well. Volume spread analysis. Because it basically shows the amount of activity happening. So not necessarily volume, but it shows a lot of activity. Tick chart esque, if you will. That's one way to look at it. So anyway, lot of activity happening. Last red candle down, big push up. I could definitely see price bouncing off of this and potentially going back up, or maybe just come up a little bit and then chew through. So it really just kind of depends on everything. But because it's such a high volume area, definitely I could see that. Because again, when you zoom out, when in doubt, zoom out. You're looking at it overall, you're in an uptrend. You're just having a little. Could this just be a correction, or could this be turning into a new trend? We don't know yet. We technically have lower highs because we did wick up here. This wick here in this zone is obviously lower. So now we just need to see to confirm if this is a downtrend. We got to wait and get a close under this area here, right? Get a close under this area, and it's still a ways away, obviously. And then look to have price obviously retrace. Maybe we can form a supply zone in this area at some point, and then possibly look for another trade down or a continuation of if you're in a trade already. So that's all. I would just suggest just be careful in that little demand area again on a 15-minute time frame. Could definitely see a bounce.
Yeah.
But from a fundamental point of view, pound Japanese yen, just so you know, liquidation, I believe it is. Let me see. Pound Jap. Yeah, so it's a neutral score of a 0. So it could really go either way, right? When it gets like that, I just kind of lean on the technicals, kind of like most technical traders do. That makes sense. So
yeah. I will say real quick as an update, I did just get into a cheap short, roughly, of the Dow now. So it made that huge up move, and then it had a quick as soon as I said that. So okay, I'm out of the trade, by the way. I just lost $20.
Okay, Sam. We'll call you Sam. Right?
So I got stopped out, which is funny, because the Dow just jumped up 15 points. So I'm still up $60 on the day. I wanted to, funny enough, it just kind of wicked me out there. But a bunch of bids started coming in at 45,275, 45,270, and 45,265. And the thought process was, we had such a large move up there to try to get to that all-time high area. We stalled out. The selling pressure came in, but it went down, but on low volume. And then we were kind of starting to do a little bit of like a curl over. And normally I don't take these kinds of trades, to be quite fair. I don't like the curl over trade and then get short, because as a famous trader that I follow once said, and I say it all the time, it forms this like H pattern, and it's heck for shorts, to put it in PG terms, which means that shorts get trapped and then a long move immediately ensues. But I figured I'd take a small stab at it, try to get short to see if it'll kind of fall back in line with the Nasdaq and the ES and just like come down to earth a little bit. Well, and
Mm-hmm.
eat up all that liquidity that I was saying that was being piled into the bids, so that all those buyers that already bought up could now have an excuse to get out because the liquidity is actually there and they don't have to get out at terrible prices. And that didn't happen. So, thesis wrong. It's okay. My loser was much smaller than my winner, and I kept it small to protect myself. And yeah, I'll update my P&L now. But it was definitely worth it because the risk to reward there was pretty massive. So, was happy to
Yeah,
take that
for sure.
shot.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just got to sacrifice a time or two. Yeah, let's see. Who was that said that? Yeah, curve trades, I agree. Pound Jap is definitely on an uptrend. Yeah, I was just merely asking the question, are they trying to form a new low, right? By the time they bounce into the supply zone. I'm not comfortable at all saying that they're trying to turn this into a supply zone, because if that were the beginning of a supply zone, well, I would want to see that supply zone. I would want to see it take out an opposite demand zone, which the closest thing I got is really kind of this point here. What happened? Price touched it, went the other way. So I'm totally on your side on that. This is to me a definitely. Now, if this price action had broken and closed down below this demand, yeah, I can see a little bit more argument for them potentially looking to distribute their inventory, meaning the big banks, because down here they're accumulating, pushing the price into a trend, which is what it's currently in. Could they be selling up here, distributing their inventory? So sell here, sell here, sell here to turn it around. That's the question, but we just need more information, because again, me and Paul, we're not Nostradamus. We have no idea. The only thing we care about is following trends, following points of interest, and just kind of jumping aboard, riding the coattails of the banks and institutions, because they're the ones that are really moving these markets, right? So yeah, definitely in an uptrend as it sits today on August 14th.
Mm-hmm. Those are the
um,
best moves. Is when you're following those big guys. Those are the most fun waves to catch. That's for sure.
yeah, yep,
For,
yep. Accumulation, distribution. That's the way markets move. I wanted to touch on my silver trade real quick here. So
yeah.
again, I opened this up this morning. Let me see. What time did I open that up? Zag. Oh, I'm on a 1 minute chart. No wonder. Yeah, so I opened it up at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. So yeah, a little bit of drawdown at the moment, but I'm going to show my analysis over here on the other chart. So when it comes to silver, it is right behind gold as far as the bullish sentiment goes. I'm going to get rid of my neutral stuff over here real quick. So yeah, again, anything 5 or higher, when I add up all my economic data, average it all out, see where we're at, plus minus, 5 or higher is bullish. So silver's giving me a 6. Gold's giving me a 10. Gold is clearly the most bullish. And then pound Aussie dollar is a 6 as well. And as well as the DAX in Germany. So it's really 3 items I've got on the bullish score of a 6 camp. But I'm in a silver trade, so I don't want to necessarily jump into a gold trade right away. I like to pick one or the other, just so I'm not doubling up my risk on the metals market. Okay, that's just my preference. So anyway, looking at the silver again, we've got a score of a 6. So what's benefiting this silver trade from a fundamental point of view? Well, starting with the big banks, they're pretty well neutral on this. They didn't really add any longs. They didn't really add any shorts on last week's commitment of traders report, the COT report. That's one of my favorite reports for anybody that might be brand new or newer on this stream anyway. I love to see where the big banks and institutions are taking assets, whether it's the currencies or currencies as an individual in the futures market, currencies, gold, Bitcoin, okay, silver, and then obviously some of these indices as well. So, but anyway, yeah. So that's neutral. Retail positioning. So the retail traders are net short. Net short. Okay, when it comes to silver. Net short when it comes to gold. They're fighting the trend. 90% of traders lose money. 90% of
Yep.
their account in 90 days. It's the old adage stat, which is a sucky stat, but it's a real stat. So anyway, that's a contrarian signal. Seasonality is good for silver and gold. Trend is good for silver and gold. Upward. The
Mm.
manufacturing PMI data and the services PMI data, Purchasing Managers Index, that's all bullish for gold and silver as well. So is the inflation data, the CPI data, the PPI data, the PCE data, which is the Fed's favorite gauge of inflation, the employment change, and the employment change. So that's all bullish for the case for gold and silver. The only thing really going against gold and silver is the GDP report, retail sales, and the interest rates. That's it. So when you add all the
Mm.
plus ones up with the minus ones, silver is a +6, gold is a +10. So that's why I'm the most interested for the rest of this week anyway in the metals market. So just flipping back on over to silver, since like Paul said, it was the better trending of the pairs, between the two. That's where I decided to get in. Now, I kind of looked at this on a combination of time frames. So if I'm looking at it on a 4-hour chart, got this low here, got this high here. So that's essentially my curve analysis and trend all rolled up in one because it's so compressed when you zoom out. That's not as bad as gold is, but it's not as pretty as I like to see it either. But anyway, got this red candle down before this big gigantic spike up. So typically there are unfilled orders in those areas. Every time you see these big expanded range candles, whether up or down, okay, that's the case. And plus, we're at the bottom third of this range, the bottom third of this curve analysis. So I like to buy low and sell high, right? That's what we all hear our whole lives in trading. So I ended up getting into the trade on a smaller time frame. You're right in here. Okay, and I caught the breakout. I think I caught it on a 30-minute. Yeah, right here. Yeah. So I had this green candle here just wick right through the zone and close all the way at the top. So that was a nice. Let me get rid of the drawing for a second. That candle right there. Okay, that's about as pretty as it gets. Having price drop into a zone, right? By the time I turn my zone back on, drop into a zone, collect unfilled orders, and close clear at the top, and that was the most volume. That's a sexy place to get in on the next candle when you break that high. So I ended up getting in right about this area. And then it just decided, I'm going to be lazy the rest of the day. So it's kind of going sideways. But I followed my rules, and that's a high probability setup. Oftentimes, those will at least push up pretty high, pretty good. Sometimes they'll just get lazy, right? Potentially, what are people doing? Why did this not go up like you thought it would? Well, it could very well be people are waiting on the retail sales report come out tomorrow. Right? This is where the fundamental story has
Yep.
to get told. So we got retail sales coming out again at 8:30 a.m. New York City time. Okay, Eastern Standard Time.
That,
So
yep.
very well, maybe I just didn't get in at the right time fundamentally. So this is why I pay attention to fundamentals. And even though I pay attention to fundamentals, uh, sometimes you don't think about certain behaviors. Well, it was a great technical setup. Obviously, the fundamentals are in my favor, but there's also
Yeah.
news. There's also the rumors, right? There's also people knowing that President Trump and President Putin are meeting tomorrow in Anchorage, Alaska. So that probably potentially scared people off and just decide, well, let's wait till all that mess gets past, right? Get past the retail sales, get past the University of Michigan consumer sentiment report that comes out tomorrow at 10 a.m. New York time. Obviously, listen
Mm.
to see what happens when Trump and Putin flap their lips with each other, cuss and discuss their thoughts, right? And then just jump back on it on Monday. That could potentially be the story. So either way, I made a high probability, low risk trade, and I just decided to take a chance at it. So either way, that's fine. A little bit of drawdown. What was it? 11, $12, I think it was on my actual broker. But I did put this trade on my main broker as well, just for full transparency. And I'm on that one and about minus $500 at the moment. But it's a 250K
Yeah.
account, so not bad. right? We're talking tiny amount.
Right.
So yeah, I'm gonna ride this thing out. But again, no matter what happens, even if this thing goes in my favor, plus $500, plus $1,000 tomorrow, whatever it is, I'm closing out because I'm not gonna let Trump and Putin say something silly to go against my trade. Now,
Yeah.
if they if they if they sound like they're going to start World War III, that could potentially help my silver trade. But if they
Mm-hmm.
shake hands, they hug each other, peace, love, and chicken grease. Oh, you're the best. You're a great leader. You're a strong leader. Well, that's good for the probably be good for the market. It's probably not going to be good for my trade. So I don't wish. I hope they come to peace. And that's why I'm willing to get the hell out of this trade because I want them to make a deal, to make some peace and see gold and silver plummet and see the markets rise, right? That'd be
Mm-hmm.
my wish. So, but in the meantime, I thought I'd take advantage of whatever volatility might be happening, because of the rumors, because the news is going to say this and that. Like right now, in the news is Trump is going to be tightening up some restrictions on him, or he better make a deal. Like all this, all these words that they're putting in the news. So that's
Mm-hmm.
basically added into why I decided to take a small stab at this trade. Uh,
Yeah.
the, the
I like it,
the
man.
verbal. So that's all stuff
Yeah.
that kind of rolls through my head when I'm looking to get in a trade like this. But yeah, either way, not a big
I
deal.
I do
I
have
want
an addition to something you were
yeah.
saying earlier. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You can keep going.
No, you're
Sorry.
good. I'm just saying I want this trade to fail because I prefer peace and happiness over making a few bucks on silver and gold. If that makes sense.
Right. It's
Yeah.
very, very modest and noble of you, kind sir. Just like me falling on I'll fall on a stake, so everybody can get into crypto at a good price. So I bought.
That's right. That's right.
you know,
Well,
we're
I'm doing the
both
same
falling
thing for
on the
silver.
stake. Yeah, we're both doing this for the greater good
We're just
of
doing our part, Paul.
Ola Prime kind, of Ola Prime chat kind. So no, but what I wanted to add when you mentioned the retail sales figures, I was saying to Coach Daryl earlier today, in our Prime Day wrap up, that was the number that is the most interesting to me. I personally am not at, I don't, the University of Michigan consumer sentiment and inflation expectations,
Mm-hmm.
I don't personally, I'm not going to put much weight on them because they are
Yeah.
just kind of these like weird gauges that are like more subjective in a certain way. But the core retail and retail sales figures, that speaks to me a little bit more. Where it's more for like theoretical, just like almost like economist talk. So it's like doesn't really have an effect on me it doesn't have an effect on me really as a day trade, like a intraday trading futures or anything, unless it drives the market to do something very trendy or whatever. Then I'll ride that. But it's more so just for
Mm-hmm.
the sake of like discussing the economy and whatever and for fun. But with core retail sales and retail sales data coming out, the only thing that I was just thinking of that is kind of confusing at times with that number possibly could be like retail sales could be expanding in bad times just because people are using credit more, right? That could be a
Yeah.
possible like inflating factor. Like if you see retail sales dip, that's just bad in general. I mean, that's just not good. But if you see them go up, you could also still kind of be bearish on the fact that like just people could just not, they could be using credit for the sake of getting that stuff when they really couldn't afford it. And then eventually it's like a lagged effect where the economy doesn't really realize that negativity until more defaults are occurring on credit cards or whatever. And then the number starts dragging down. But yeah, I kind of, that was just an interesting thought that I had. But
Yeah.
yeah. So
Oh, for sure.
I don't know if there's any way to kind of in lockstep look at credit defaults versus the retail sales stuff, and you could see maybe what the correlation, not you, I mean just like anybody could see like the correlation between the two, like the two readings. Be an interesting little study to do, a little bit of research um, to be done, but not that it would have
Um,
it would just be more so like now something that is requires a little bit of effort to to get to. It's not like you're going to be able to make too many decisions off of it that would make you money necessarily or anything. It's just more so like if you're curious about the economy. But yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to figure out how I can share this put to call ratio. Do you ever do the? You ever do the? You ever look at put to call ratios, Paul, in the options market?
I used to look at it a lot um, a while ago, but there was a point in time where it would get contradictory to me in my view. So I just kind of fell out of looking at it, but it can be useful. I think it can be useful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just more of a, again, kind of a contrarian tool. Yeah, because I try to look at that every so often, and like, which is part of the reason I like the silver idea, because it's reaching the extreme fear side of the spectrum, which is
I
high
like
put
that. Yeah.
demand, which is obviously a contrarian signal to buy long, right?
Right.
It just crossed to that level. I was trying to figure out I was trying to copy and paste it, but you know how this is. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Then what's going to happen is
Yeah.
I'm gonna be on another asset somewhere, and it's going to be a whole bunch of put to call ratios on there
Yeah.
because
And
for
and
whatever
if
reason it goes to a different spot.
right, and and if people like I don't know how much research the chat has done on like derivatives, like option derivatives and whatnot, and how like they work with like market makers and stuff. But a lot of the times what's happening in like some of these in a lot of all these options markets is when you are like, so like when you buy a put option, for example,
Mm-hmm.
um, that will that would roughly mean that a market maker had to sell you the put option. So naturally, they are um, they are long whatever the underlying is. So if the market maker sold the put option, they are naturally long that underlying. And then what the market
Mm-hmm.
makers will do, because the market makers are just trying to make a small little spread usually, what they'll do is they will then short the underlying a certain degree to even out their deltas, to get their position to zero, to try to get it as close to zero as possible while locking in the tiniest little spread to make a bunch of money on. And the more volume that they can do that with, the better. So what
Mm-hmm.
some people think is that when whatever the market maker has to do um, to appease like the retail side of things, like so if retail is buying a lot of put options and the market makers have to sell a lot of put options, that eventually two things can happen. Either the market makers that are selling the underlying to hedge themselves start to put some strength into like a down move, or their hedges get stopped out to then fuel an up move. There's a couple of ways of looking at like the theoretics of
Yeah.
that kind of the nature of the derivatives like that in relation to like what market makers have to do in order to hedge themselves essentially. So
Yeah.
kind of interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. I
not
just
that's not advice or anything. That's more so just like, I would say if you're interested in that kind of stuff, that derivative stuff, look into like market makers and how they work and what they're hedging, how they have to hedge based on like, having to execute orders for people at any time to provide liquidity and whatnot to the markets. Interesting stuff.
yeah, and as always, it's it's not an end all be all. It's just nothing more than just an extra odds enhancer, right? You don't want to always make as much as I love the COT report, I don't make my buying selling decisions just based off of that. It's just one of about 15 different things I pack together into a nice, tasty sandwich, right? Got to have all the ingredients, make a nice sandwich, but any ingredient by itself, it's not that good. Where's the beef, Paul? All right. Got to have something big to eat. So, but yeah, it is nice to at least see where the fear is, where the greed is, and essentially just look at it like contrary and take the opposite side if and when it fits into your everything else you're looking at. My whole thing is supply and demand. I think I've beat it like a dead horse, right? Supply and demand is always my number one decision maker, but it's always nice to have the fundamentals and all these things in my favor, supporting it, or VWAP or some trend line, things like that. So, and buying, curve analysis, that kind of thing. One big puzzle.
For sure.
All right.
We can maybe. I was going to say, can I share my screen, or you got stuff to share?
No, go ahead. I don't have anything near alerts at the moment. Curve trades. Do I like Chipotle? Hell yeah, I do. Love it. And I have one. I live a quarter mile from one. So needless to say, curve trades, I hit them up quite regularly.
Yeah, and also we are based. Our headquarters are in Hong Kong, Curve Trades, and then we have operations throughout like UK, India, Dubai. I mean, all over the world essentially. So, Hola Prime is a very internationally established firm, very internationally established. We are, me and Coach Tiger are over here in the USA, but they are, Hola Prime is, headquartered in Hong Kong. So pretty cool company, to be quite honest. I love the diversity, the country diversity and like operations and stuff. I love seeing that kind of stuff. I mean, I come from a background of international like trade operations and whatnot in general. So it's always fun to be able to interact with people from different areas of the world. But yeah, so
and not only that, but you're on the East Coast. We got Coach Troy in the South, there in Tennessee, which is where I grew up. Actually, that's where I'm from. And you got me right in the center of the country, right here in Kansas City. I mean, as dead center as it gets. And then you got Coach Daryl out on the West Coast in LA. So we're even spread out pretty well here in the States. So it's kind of interesting to get some regional opinions and thoughts from within the U.S. itself. As big and expansive as our country is, it's like night and day when you go from the East Coast to the West Coast, or from the Midwest where I am to the East Coast, or the South to the North. Like, hillbillies versus Yankees. I mean, it's a humongously it's just a very vast difference here in the U.S. As you can imagine, the same, because we're roughly the size of the European Union. Well, Czechia is going to be different from France. Germany is going to be different from Bulgaria, right? And so on and so forth. So their countries are essentially our states. And from state to state, things are quite different here. So anyway, I just wanted to say it's really cool to get that expansive, melting pot here within the country. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's so true. Actually, it is funny because I feel like in here we do forget sometimes that like being states away is similar to being, it's similar to being like countries away in like Europe or something at times. So it's kind of funny to think about that. But
it really is.
We will share my screen at some point here. We're going to have the production crew switch that over at some point.
Okay.
Let's see here.
There you are. There you go.
Cool. Sweet.
You all on it?
Sweet. Something I feel like I tell myself this every quiet market session, and I always forget during the regular trading hours session is, hey, let's look at the Russell. And then I proceed to never look at the Russell during the regular trading hours, and I only look at it in the overnight. So today
Paul,
was a pretty
can you give me just
interesting. Yeah.
you give me 2 minutes, Paul? Just give me two
Oh, you're
minutes.
good. Yeah,
I'll be
you're
back with
good.
you. Sorry about that.
I'll talk the chat's ear off. Ears off. So the Russell today had a similar move to what the S&P, the Dow, and the Nasdaq had in the pre-market session, but it didn't. It basically dove further in the intraday and then recovered what it basically lost in that intraday, and is now trying to get back up to where it was before the PPI reading this morning. It's kind of interesting. It makes me, since the ES and everybody did recover that PPI move and the Russell's lagging behind, my initial thought is I kind of want to get long for the sake of like a lagged recovery. Like maybe it's just falling, it's just, lagging behind the major indices. Maybe the small business side of things is just has a slight lag on the daily. Maybe it's just going to take a couple of days for it to recover here. But also, to be honest with you guys, chat, I have never traded Russell futures in my life, so maybe I would do this in a practice account where I do have a practice account where I could just get long this overnight, see if it recovers that PPI move or something, for the sake of research, for the sake of participation. Um, right now, I guess my stop would have to be roughly. I mean, it would have to be a pretty good stop, right? Because my target would have to be up here in the 2328 area. That's roughly where my target would be. So I'd probably have to put a stop somewhere around like the 2305 area. So I'd have to give myself at least 7 full points of downside room to then possibly make 15 points of roughly like 16 points or 15 points of upside. So not a bad risk to reward there. That would be like a 2-to-1. But probably the only way I could hold it that long is if I did just, or like, yeah, if I just wasn't looking at the chart, had my stop placed, forget about it, go to sleep, and hope that it opens up there closer to the top of that area. But I'll think about it in the next 10 minutes or so. Maybe I'll get into a long. I agree,
Take that
liquidation.
dose,
And
dose
curve.
of
Yeah, I
hopium.
like that. Yeah, the Russell's cool. I mean, I definitely need to. I want. That's why I say that I want to follow it more and I want to trade it eventually, is because like I just don't feel like it gets too much love. And there are days where I
Agreed.
look at the ES and I look at the Nasdaq and the Dow, and they're just trading kind of grossly. And then I look at the Russell too late, and it's like, wow, that trended so nicely. Like that would have been like a much easier trading day if I had just traded the Russell, if I had been paying attention. So it's definitely
Yeah.
a industry to give a little bit more respect to and pay attention to, and like just have it more on the morning docket for me to be just reviewing like immediate, like just like I would with all the other indices. I review all those and I set levels for all of those. Why am I not doing that for the Russell? So yeah,
No, I
that's just a little
agree.
bit of reflection.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I track it too, but part of the challenge with the Russell is, like you said, you need to show more love. Well, some of these brokers need to show it more love because a lot of the brokers don't even have it as an asset. They just focus on the three
Yeah,
highest ones, and they kind of leave that one to the side. So it would help if some of these, some brokers would do that. Just
yeah,
overall,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, because that's
But you
that's
can
my
trade it on
challenge. I don't have
Project
that.
X.
Oh, you can. Okay, yeah, yeah. On all the brokers I have, yeah, I just don't have it as an asset. I've got quite a few of
That's
them,
crazy.
but yeah, it's
Another
just not one
reason
of
to
me.
be happy about the Project X platform with Ola Prime here. I mean,
Yeah,
gives you a decent bit. Like there's just I mean, you can, if you guys want to trade soybeans, you are more than welcome to trade soybeans, and we can look at it right
Oh,
now if
nice.
you want. It's pretty funny, but
Oh,
I
wow.
think,
Wow.
are we ready to announce
Oh,
the
yeah.
winner? Are we?
Looks like it. Yep. Yep. That
Let's
time has
see if
come, ladies and
let's
gents.
see
Oh,
if they're
Paul, do you
ready.
want to share? Do you want me to share?
Yeah, I can do it. Let's just
Okay.
make sure that they're ready real quick. The production guys.
Yeah.
Uh,
Pretty sure they said they were ready with everything. Yeah. Ready with everything. We can. Okay. Perfect. There you go. Yep.
all right, sweet. All right. Well, the time has come where the
For a drum roll.
50K challenge account winner has been selected, and I have the name right in front of me. Drum roll. And the winner is Catherine. Catherine, you won.
Catherine,
Let's
that's all you,
go.
girl.
Let's go, Catherine.
Confetti
Super
is
excited
flying
for you.
everywhere just for you. Just for you. Congrats. That's
That is
a
awesome.
50K account. That's a leg up right there for you.
That's a big boy. That is a big
Yeah,
boy account. Big girl account, big boy account. That is just I mean,
that's for
I'm
real.
jealous. I'm jealous, Catherine.
Me too. Makes me want to wear like a like a detective hat with the glasses and the mustache, the big nose to kind of sneak in here and sneak in as a different username on another account and just be like, oh, nothing to see here. Just
Oh
another
man.
regular person on here, not a coach at all. No, not
And
at all.
Catherine,
This is real.
just just to let you know, just make sure you keep an eye on your email. You will get an email regarding the activation and everything of your account and whatnot. So just keep an eye on it. Sometimes, Sam says, in the other sessions, like sometimes it can pop up in your spam folder. Make sure, uh, you just keep an eye on it, and you should get it soon within the next like day or so, an email. So congrats again.
Mhm.
Super excited for you, and can't wait to be trading alongside you here on these streams for sure. So
Yep.
definitely let us know how the days are going. Keep us updated daily or every other day or something. Whenever you can join the streams, just keep us updated on how everything's going. So
That's right. We will be here for you in the flesh,
awesome.
morning, noon, and night.
We really
Paul, I
are.
was,
It's like we're long,
yeah, we're
we're
everywhere.
on stream literally almost at every time of the day. It's crazy.
Yeah, and always keep in mind too, ladies and gentlemen, even if you miss our streams, you can always play them back, right? You just simply go to the Hola Prime TV channel, just click on the live section, and you'll see all the different shows that we have, all the different days. And yeah, you can just click play on them. Just click play. You can fast forward if you want to go to some of the news pieces. Like for example, in the mornings we start at 3 a.m., but usually at 3:30 a.m. So 30 minutes in, I'll throw up a quick 6-7 minute news piece, much like Coach Paul did at the start of this session. On that stream, we just do it about 30 minutes after we start. So yeah, just fast forward to the 30-minute mark, 31-minute mark, whatever. You'll get the news there, and then yeah, that's where
Yep.
it's at. It's kind of hidden. It's kind of buried. I don't know that all the other time zones know that. That maybe you don't watch our show because you're asleep during that time or whatever the case is. But yeah, we do. I do the news piece 30 minutes in. So a lot of fun. I like to crack up. I like to be silly, but most importantly, I like to get you the pertinent information you need, as do all of us. When we do the news. So
For sure.
But yeah,
For sure.
that's it. We everywhere. We're everywhere. Paul, I was looking at the Fed Watch tool because you know how lately it's been moving quite a bit.
Mhm.
So we
I
have went
saw.
down a little bit to 92.1% that we are getting our rate cut on the September 17th meeting. The October 29th meeting is projecting another 25 basis point cut, but it's now moved up. So it's now up to 55%. to only 41% keeping the same. But I did
Mm.
notice the December rating has shifted yet again, because when I looked at this 2 days ago, we were projected for a third 25 basis point cut. It was like, I think it was 50% that we were cutting and like 41% that we were leaving the same, with the remaining that we were going to raise rates, which is kind of a laugher at this point. But right now it's actually down 9 points. So now there's a 41.6% chance of a rate cut to only a 45% chance of remaining the same. So yeah, the December one sounds a little iffy. It's the toss of the coin, so to speak, and really the next, really the October report too. But yeah, as far as September goes,
Yeah.
yeah, it's all but a shoe in. We're over 90% that they're dropping. So we
And
just
well,
focus one month
did
at
you
a time.
did you
What's
also
that?
see did you also see on the September it flip flopped, like there was like a 6% chance of a 50 basis point cut, and then the
Mm.
92, like a 94% chance of a 25 basis point cut, and then
Mm-mm.
yesterday or this morning it flip flopped to a 92% chance of the 125 basis point cut, and then a 7% chance or whatever 8% chance of keeping it the same. So there was a point in time where there was a possible 50 basis point cut in the
Yeah.
probabilities, and then it went away really quickly, day on day. So that is interesting. But I will say the October one is interesting because that October one having a 55% chance of two cuts being it like done, like there's a decent chance that there could be a cut in October. I mean, but
Yeah.
like you said, also that 41% and 45% on three cuts or two cuts in December, that is like I feel like if I
Yeah.
was a betting man, if I was a betting man, I would not bet on any of that.
Yeah. Yeah, because when you just jump on the CME tool, it obviously goes to the current section and the target rate. But yeah, if you click
Yeah.
compare right below it, yeah, I do see now what you were talking about as far as the 375 to 400 popping up in a small percentage on August 30th, it looks like. Yes, or 13th. I'm sorry. So yesterday.
Uh,
Uh,
dude, you know what's funny is I for some reason have never scrolled down and saw that. So
well, I literally just did 3 minutes ago. So
that
I just
that's funny.
because I was because I assumed that there has to have been a history tab somewhere. So yeah, I clicked on compare, and there it is to the bottom left.
That's so funny. That is so funny.
Probabilities
Wow.
aggregate. Yes. Yeah, I've never ventured beyond the current tab either, but I just happened to click on that one right below it. And there
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
blows. What we
Yeah.
got here?
All right. What should I maybe I'll look at I'll take a gander at gold again. Let's see what gold's doing. See if there's anything happening there.
Mm-hmm.
Um okay. So that was my small gold trade. I was in the regular trading hours. I took a small little scalp of gold here. I got in. You guys chat can see this, but at roughly 3 o'clock, I got in on this like EMA kind of support. We were trending upwards from the morning session, from that drop in the morning session, or actually early afternoon. And we just were kind of snaking our way upwards. So I got in right, uh, fortunately, right before we had the next big leg upwards, and I got out right around where the value area high was from the previous trading session day, and then it continued to tank back down. So great trade. Really got in on that last leg up there, which is kind of funny. I didn't even realize it tanked back down um, at the end of the day there, and now we're trying to trace back up higher here, but this is no way I can get long, to be honest. I'm like, this would be terrible trade location if I was trying to get long gold there. My
Yeah.
risk would have to be 6 points to the downside, or 60 ticks to the downside, essentially, to make 30. ticks. So pretty terrible. Bad risk to reward. So not taking that. Definitely not taking that. But let's see. SIL, micro silver, maybe track your trade slightly a bit here. I guess I missed the buy opportunity here on silver. We look at that. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Isn't it cool when like technical analysis stuff kind of lines up with I'm not even looking at order flow or anything. If you're just looking at a chart, it's kind of pleasing on the eye when you see things like this where you have an area where on August 14th, which is today, earlier today, at around 10 o'clock, you had this dip down here, rejection. Well, not rejection, but a reversal. And then we eventually, by 12 o'clock, come back down to retest that kind of little supply area, reversal. We then come back down to test it again, smaller reversal. And then we come down again. We pierce through that supply area, but then reverse back upwards. So within what, 12 hours ish, we've tested the same area like 3 times. Very interesting. Could be a extremely supported area, or liquidity could be getting taken out slowly from that spot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it looks pretty strong. The support looks pretty strong, I must say. Um, to have tested 4 times and still holding up. So we'll see though. We'll see if it can continue to hold. I mean, it would be nice if it held over the overnight for the morning where more volume, or like you said, London open or whatever, like during the openings of any market, it can like hold this area and then let some more liquidity come in and maybe get bought up or something. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's definitely a possibility.
Hey, Coach Paul, I'm gonna make a quick announcement. So, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, just getting some information from our back end here. If you obviously when we pass out these accounts, right? When you win an account with us, then we tend to try to go on to finding new people the next time, right? If you have won an account that maybe you want a futures account, right? Well, then you're not eligible for any others. But if you want to exchange that in for a Forex account or vice versa, then that's something that it sounds like you can do. So just get with our customer support on holaprime.com and let them know the situation. Hey, I want a futures account, but I prefer, or I trade Forex, right? Or whatever the case may be, if it's reverse. Let them know that, because yeah, at the end
Mhm.
of the day, we want to match you up with the proper account that you're with, rather than blowing an account, right? Blowing a challenge on an account that maybe you don't trade much, right? Or maybe you win a Forex account, you prefer a futures account, something like that. So, because I do see here like Liquidation Lab, that might benefit you, because yeah, we knew that a couple of you have already won. So, but yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, at the end of the day, just get with our customer support. They're pretty helpful, and they'll definitely find a solution. Okay, because at the end of the day, we want to match you up with what works best for you. So hopefully that
Yeah.
helps. But yeah, every time somebody wins, we obviously keep track on our master list. Hey, this person won this on this day. This person won that on that day. Just so that we're trying to pass them out evenly and being fair with all the, especially the newcomers that are coming aboard. So, yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, we're here for you at the end of the day. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And Catherine, you won a Forex account. So you can just reach out to support like Tiger said. Yeah, Ola Prime support will be very happy to exchange that if you would like to trade futures instead of Forex. I know you were saying you like to trade gold a lot, so if you are used to trading gold on the Forex side of things, the XAU USD, then great. But if you want to dip your hands in the futures platform and side of things, then we'll do that for you. So just reach out to support.
Yeah, we'll make it
So
right. yeah, just reach out to support. Yeah, they'll definitely, if you're not interested in one or the other, right? They'll
Yeah,
definitely work to try to make it good for you. So hopefully that helps.
I like that a
Hopefully
lot,
that
and it makes
helps.
a lot of sense too. It makes a lot of sense as
Yeah,
well,
I thought about that
because
too in the back of my head. I'm like, oh, what if they trade the other? But
well,
no, that makes
and
sense.
like on top, like during our sessions, we like your Forex session, for example, in the early morning, it would make sense that there's a lot of Forex traders following you. So winning a Forex account
Right.
makes sense. In the futures sessions, it makes sense that there's a lot of futures people and they
Yeah,
would win a futures account. But on this session, we have a mix and
that's
match. So it can be a
mixed.
little,
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And we're still learning as we go too. So at the end of the day, y'all are helping us out with getting our stuff the
yep.
way that works best for everybody. So good stuff. Good deal. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah.
Um,
Love it.
Man, yeah,
What
silver been
else?
doing some spiking and gold too, huh? Not gold so much, but
Yeah.
silver's definitely been spiking down and retracing. I like that
Yeah.
it's been
Yeah.
retracing up pretty hard. It's getting rejected when it drops, like the 3780
Yeah.
levels for me anyway. My levels
No,
are different from yours.
that's exactly what I was mentioning earlier was maybe
Yeah,
I can kind of do a little tool here. Here we go. This area is what I
yeah,
was thinking is like the fact that we've come and touched that 4 times over the last whatever it is 12 hours or 13 hours or what have you. Um, that's like it could be one of two things. The liquidity is just constantly being just chipped away at, and then
hmm
eventually we break through it, or the buying there is just so strong that eventually the sellers give up and then we just catapult upwards and continue the uptrend in silver. So um, my hope is that this stays above the support area for you until you get to like the London Open session. Like when the like London opens, more liquidity flows in, and then the buy support just could come in there and really take it off, and then you would get out of the trade. Obviously, I know you're saying before the whole political masquerade occurs tomorrow. So yeah,
yeah. Literally, what you just drew up is the exact demand zone I had drawn up on a 4 hour time frame. So yeah, that's literally where I bought.
that
Oh,
makes
by the way,
sense.
I finally did get my put to call ratio. I finally found it. Because here's the thing: whenever I go to paste it and I can't see it, it's usually because it's on another chart, and sometimes it takes a few seconds. So that's what happened in this case because I was pasting it on my silver chart. I pasted it like 2 or 3 times and it wasn't there. So apparently, sometimes it just takes a minute or two for it to actually show. Don't know why, but
Okay.
anyway, I found it. So we could definitely look at that after you're done. Oh, we got 9 minutes,
Yeah,
10 minutes
sweet.
left. 11.
Yeah, we'll look at it in a second, actually. And
Sure.
the only other thing I wanted to say was no sleep narrator. Thanks for mentioning that. Yeah, definitely. Everybody
Yeah.
for sure check out the Discord. We're in there every day talking and whatnot, and we've got like different sections, like for chart talk or just like in the trader lounge, just chatting about things like just thoughts or whatever on the markets, and in the chart area, we're just going through different products and what people are seeing on the charts and whatnot. So our coaches post in there regularly and whatnot too, and it's a good time. So definitely join. We've got 2 different Discords. We've got the like Ola Prime Global Discord and then the Ola Prime Futures Discord. The Futures one is a little bit more new, but the Ola Prime Global one has been around for a while, and but both of them are awesome. So definitely recommend hopping in. And
Yeah, and the regular Outlaw Prime Global one is the one that I'm primarily on. I'm on all of them. I'm still fairly new to Discord, so I'm trying to get better myself about engaging on there. And I've got some tasks I need to do periodically. Put book references on there and chart markups and things like that. I've done it a little bit, but I'm still learning Discord because I've always been on Facebook and a little bit of X So that's
Right.
primarily where I've lived my life. But I'm starting to get into Discord more. So bear with me. I will definitely make it my goal to start engaging a lot more on there. I've been engaging a little bit more recently, so I'll get on there. But yeah, ask anything at any time. I have a wacky sleep schedule, so I sleep during the New York session, even though I'm here in the U.S. Um, but yeah, I'll be getting on there more and more. So definitely check us out. But yeah, at the top of the holaprime.com website, you'll see the little Discord button. Just simply click it, and yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get you on there.
And we do kindly ask. I do. We definitely kindly ask if you haven't liked the stream or subscribed. We would greatly appreciate if you did. Every little bit, helps us out. We're just trying to, you know, provide a little bit of tradertainment and
Yeah,
infotainment to the audience of YouTube. So we do appreciate if you could like and subscribe and yeah, and tell any of your friends that are interested in the markets and whatnot. We trade, but we also discuss like current news that could affect markets and everything. And we're just generally like an informational channel, as well as there's some fun and some good trading that's occurring. So we're just trying our best to expand our YouTube presence. So we appreciate it. We appreciate any help that you can
yep,
give. So thank you.
yep. Every great YouTube channel got its start from somewhere at 0 followers, right? 0 viewers. So we were there
Mhm.
just a few weeks ago. And we're starting to
Exactly.
pick up a little steam on some of these shows. Um, you guys' show is doing really well, really well. Like looking at the viewer counts each day. So
Yeah,
yeah, we're
yeah.
just gonna
I'm
grow a little bit each day. We're trying to grow the same way we all need to be growing our trading accounts, just a little at a time, right? Slow and steady wins the
definitely.
race. I mean, we all want
Yes.
to earn $1,000 a day and $10,000 a day. We all want to gain 1,000 viewers a day, 1,000 subscribers a day. But sometimes you just got to stay steady, right? Help each
Right.
other out.
We're focused on some like organic growth, just organically.
Yeah.
We're just trying to grow organically through, a big trader base. Just get more and more traders to tune in a little bit here and there. Even sometimes traders want to you want to sit on your hands and you want to be a part of the markets, but you don't necessarily want to trade them. And and then that's where we can come in too, and you can watch us trade and listen to us talk about what our thoughts are. And you can get something out of the trading day from us as well. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we
And
want to
Catherine,
I'm
just to
sorry.
let you know, yeah, the Discord, you'll have to actually go to the website. So holaprime.com. Yeah, you should see that button down there. I don't really have a separate link I can give. I don't think we have one. I think you specifically have to go to the website if I'm correct. But yeah, if you go to
Yeah.
holaprime.com, you'll see the join Discord button right at the top. Is that right,
Yeah.
Paul? Or am I
Yeah,
way off?
yeah. That's the easier way
Okay.
to do it for sure. That's the easiest way to do it, I would say. Definitely. I mean, you can search
Okay.
within Discord for it, but it's a it's easiest to just go through the website and click on it, and it'll just bring you right to it. You just download the Discord app to make a little account. It's like making a YouTube account or something. Essentially, it's just a cool place where
Yeah,
groups of people gather together to chat and share stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, you click the join Discord button, and when you do that, it links you to Discord, and there's a button that says Hola Prime, accept invite. And then you just click the accept invite button and
Yeah.
just go from there. So hopefully that helps Catherine and others that might be having a similar thought or question on that.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're welcome, Catherine. Good deal.
Well, with that being
Good.
said, you want to we can show your chart, I guess, or we can
Yeah,
show the put call thing. That would be cool.
yeah. Flip on over back end, and we'll just take a quick look at the chart that got lost in cyberspace and finally appeared. So yeah, whenever I go to buy or sell anything, I like to compare it to the put to call ratio. So on the put to call ratio, again, this is buyers and sellers in the options market. Okay, the options traders, because they're selling puts and call, or, doing puts and calls. So basically, the way to read these charts, and by the way, you can get this for gold, silver, Bitcoin, the major indices. Okay, I don't think they really. I don't know. That's all I. That's the only thing my algorithm tracks as of right now is the indices, major indices, of course, gold and silver, Bitcoin. So, but yeah, when you see this white line here, that's just kind of the daily flow of the options, the contracts, the puts and the calls. So when you see this white line getting closer to the top, well, that's extreme fear. That's high put demand. That's people that are betting on the market going down, right? And then the reverse is true when you get down to this extreme greed level. That's a high call demand. So when I see the baseline getting up to the top to where the extreme fear is, people are selling, people are net long or net short. I said that the wrong way. Well, just look at it as a contrarian signal and just look to buy the market potentially. Again, this is not the end all be all. This is just one of about 15 different reports I track, much like the COT report, like the retail sentiment for the currency market. But yeah, it's just nice to read this chart and see, okay, imagine this is a price chart. Just imagine for a second that this white line is a price chart. Well, looks like we're trending up, right? So if we're trending up, what do? We look to buy. Now, again, you buy low, sell high, but that's not how you read it on here. You just look at the fact of it's up high. It's up in the high put demand. I want to keep going because we're in an uptrend. It's just how my brain works. But that's how I read it, and I use that to my benefit and say, okay, if people are selling, I want to do the opposite. Observe the masses and do the opposite. That's not a knock on anybody. The way it works. Too many people are always doing the opposite of what they should be doing, and that's why they're losing money. So when we can read things, factor it in with our analysis, just a nice confluence. So hopefully that helps.
The contrarian, when you can get them right, they have high, they have a low risk to high type of ratio. So you get at being a contrarian, the more reward there is to unit of risk. It's just, I agree that a lot of what you need in order to be a relatively consistent contrarian, but and with COT analysis and all that, CFTC COT analysis and all that stuff too. But with that being said, actually, we're coming up on time here. We got 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So I do want to just, thank everybody again in the chat for participating. We appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you, everything. And we will be back on Sunday night. We still do a quiet market session as well. I won't be there, but I believe it's Coach Michael and Coach. Or is it Coach Michael and Coach Tony, or is it you and Coach Michael?
It'll be probably Michael and Tony, because I think they did it this past Sunday. Once in a while, I'll fill in on that one, but I will kind of kick things off with Michael for the pre-market kickoff, which starts at 5:45 New York time, so 5:45 Eastern Standard Time. It's just a quick 1 hour show. Between he and I, we get on. I talk the COT report. What did the big banks and institutions buy and sell? And it's just kind of my way of kicking off to let everybody know where the big money is piling in or taking money out of, to start the week. So with that, that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. Coach Paul, as always, good times, man.
It's a pleasure. I will see you next week. Have a great session tomorrow morning. And I'll see you on Monday night. All right.
Right on. Appreciate it. Peace, love, chicken grease. Have a good one, everybody.
Later. Bye, everybody.
All right. Bye.
Hola Prime. Trade with transparency.